Good evening, everybody. Very sorry for the delay in that. We found that some of the films took longer to download than we thought. So thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Gwen Robinson, past president at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand. And as you know, we're here to watch some really very remarkable films, short films tonight about displacement and refugees in Myanmar and along the Thai-Myanmar border. So I think because you're all here, I think you know very well that the situation with displacement in Myanmar has reached really astonishing and shocking levels. I think the UN has figures of 2.6 or 2.8 million internally displaced. I think independent estimates have it as way beyond 3 million. I mean, some feel that it's getting upwards of 3.5 to 4 million. No one can really know, but you have seen some images every day, if you want, on social media of people living in jungles, in the bushes, in paddocks. I mean, people trying to have clinics and schools in the bush, and constant bombing all the time. Every day there are reports of the military bombing villages. But, you know, that 2.8 million or 3 million or whatever figure, on top of that is the most extraordinary outflow that this country has probably seen, I think, possibly in its history. We also can't know the numbers that have fled across borders or in terms of the Rohingya taken to boats in the sea or gone to Bangladesh, being driven there. But, you know, if you add all these people who've escaped the country, we're talking about many millions more. So clearly this is one of the worst displacement situations in the world today. And bringing us some really rare insights and glimpses are some very brave filmmakers. And I'd like to ask a few of them to join us very briefly at the beginning of this session, just to say a few words and introduce what we're going to see very briefly. Then we will see the films, and then afterwards there'll be a short time for discussion. So I'd like to ask on stage Tozor Lat and Sai Chor Kaing, two of the filmmakers, and also on screen we have Kuntam, can we bring on Nang Moe? Actually, maybe we need the screen down. So, Kuntam, could we bring Nang Moe online? And also, if Jeannie is there, maybe we can... so we'll be joined by a few of the filmmakers online who are not in Bangkok. So there's Jeannie Hallisey, a veteran filmmaker who's made very strong, powerful films, including Burma Spring, is it, Jeannie? And several other films. And we also have with us Nang Moe. Sorry, she'll come online soon. And sitting here in the clubhouse, oh, here she is, Nang Moe, hi. This is Nang Moe, who is Secretary General of Women's League of Burma. And one of the films we're seeing tonight is by women, specifically about the particular situation facing a lot of women amongst the displaced. Could we have a little bit of silence up the back there, please? Sorry, just trying to get through this. So thank you for joining us, Nang Moe. And thanks, Jeannie. Hello, wherever you are. And I'm just introducing, in the clubhouse, is right next to me is Sai Chor Kaing, a very accomplished filmmaker who's made various award-winning films, including Click in Fear, about the Saffron Revolution back in 2007, and Strike with the Best, about the 2021 protests against the coup, and most recently The Journey, which was screened here at the FCCT last year, about People's Defence Forces trying to bring supplies in from India. And most recently, he has made with Tozor Lat, who's sitting next to him, the film we're about to see tonight, which is Forgotten IDPs, which they spend a lot of time on the border making. So they're going to give us glimpses into the situation. So very, very briefly to introduce first, I think Tozor Lat, who is recently elected Secretary of the Independent Press Council of Myanmar. To, you were just going to say a few words about the importance of Myanmar documentary making, and then we'll hear from Maung Moe and Jeannie if you want to say a few things.
Thanks, Gwen, and thanks, FCCT. Like you said, we make the documentary about IDPs 6 months ago. And the number, the one we make, it was 1.9 million IDPs, and from OCHA. The same OCHA now is at 2.6 million. You see, within 6 months, the amount of IDPs, internally displaced people, this is the situation that we encounter on daily basis. I'm a journalist, so basically dealing with the hard news, but making the longer documentary or film, it takes very long time. And also very difficult. It takes time and take resources, and you don't see a lot of film making. And also, it's very dangerous. Maybe you may aware that recently Shin Dewi, one of the filmmakers, she was sentenced to she got arrested in around December. She is sentenced to life sentence, and just arrest her in Yangon with a drone. So that is the situation about a lot of the documentary filmmakers facing in Burma, Myanmar. But for us, the reason we want to bring up, when we know a lot of IDPs along the Thai-Burma border, in Magwe, Sagai, in middle of Burma, in India border, in Chin State, and in Karenni, and what we noticed is that there is it is a crisis. It is a dire need. There is an ongoing bombing. There is no legit target. There is an ongoing bombing to the refugee camps, IDP camps, and there is a growing IDPs. By the time we make this documentary, there were no 1027. But by the time we almost, published, I showed the film on Mizima Media, it's already 1.5 million views or something like that. And then, suddenly there is another conflict. So I think this is the situation in Burma, Myanmar. Within 6 months, the amount of IDPs, it's, around 600 to 700,000 known recorded IDPs within 6 months. This is the situation that we like to highlight, that we want to talk about. And they are, and thanks to Thai recently, they have a very good intention to address these, Thai Red Cross, about 20,000. It is very little, but compared with nothing, And whenever we go around on the ground, a lot of people ask, where are the help? We need help. Who can help? They will survive. They merely survive on small, local, people-to-people, small-scale humanitarian aids. There is no huge, big, like in even Gaza, or some other. They barely survive on their own. So all we can do is, okay, why don't we make the documentary and tell the story? So this in terms of storytelling, the picture tell the stories, the real stories. But is it easy? It's very difficult. Like I say, it is dangerous. Filmmaker is sentenced to the life sentence, and also even in Zagai, in our documentary, there he himself went into Chin State from India border, and also I have to send journalists to Zagai. Zagai is a middle of Burma, where the majority IDPs, according to OCHA, it's more than 800,000. But nobody really see the ground situation. Even we got the film, we got the interview document. Very few people want to show their face, and very few people willing to talk on camera. Then we got time, and then how are they? There is no internet connection. There is no. I have to go all these footages to Yangon or some other, and then to get it to us here to edit it, and that kind of difficulty we are facing. But I think at least all we can do is we can make longer documentary or storytelling. What is the real situation on the ground? That's why we decided that, all right, this is the documentary that we are going to tell, about that particular story on 4 different areas. One in Karen, one in Karenni, one in Zagai, very hard to get it, one in Chin, on the India border. So you will see the actual day-to-day refugees or IDPs, their day-to-day life. So I think, it is very important to us to keep telling the story about what is going on in order to, to influence or agenda setting, let me put it that way.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of problems in my country, a lot of crisis, but sometimes we have to focus. Once we raise, I got a call from Yango, UNHCR office. I was really worried, something wrong. They said, no, please give the credit. So I said, I'm happy to give the credit. And they said that we're trying to help as much as we can, but unfortunately we can't reach everybody. That is the official response from UNHCR from Yangon. They call me because I made it. So I think, even we are very difficult, I think we will do that. We will keep, it is very important to keep telling the stories, what is going on, especially those untold stories or
so
those
much.
difficult areas.
Thanks very much, Tozolat. And I'd like to turn to you, Maung Moe, in terms of you're representing WLB, and this looks like a very interesting collective effort to put a spotlight specifically on women. So you might just very briefly, because we are going to come back afterwards for a bit of discussion, if you wanted to tell us a little bit about why WLB did this as a collective.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us, and also opportunity to show our frames that especially focus on the women who are suffer from the long civil war of Burma. So the flames we documented, we do this especially is in 2018. So we do at that time in the years of 2018. And also we have launched the frames in 2018. So in the frames that you will also see, like especially we document and the story of women, and there are different kind of women, but especially women who lost like their husband, their son, their father, their sister during the long-term civil war. So we have like not only women from like non-Burmese ethnic community, from like ethnic, like the mother, the wives or the sister who lost like their son, not only from the ethnic side, but also we also have document that also focus on the story of the Burmese military, like the women who lost their the husband and son during the civil war in Burma. So especially why we do this in the long history, like during the 70 years of civil wars, women, especially women, children, and adult people are impacted by the civil war. So they are becomes vulnerable, marginalized, and they suffer a lot. They face several forms of violence, discrimination. But at the same time, when the peace talk or when the negotiations start, the rights and the concern of the women are not really heard in the peace negotiation or in the political dialogue. So the reasons that we are doing these frames is like, we also would like to show that women are vulnerable, marginalized, they are victims of civil war. But at the same time, women are also change makers. They also are like peacemakers and are the political decision maker. We would like to focus on this, and then we do the documentary frame, this frame. So we in 2018, myself and also colleagues, the frame makers, we went to the different areas, including like IDP camp in refugee in Thai-Burma border, including like Karen refugee camp, and also some of the IDP camp in Northern Chan, some of the IDP camp in Karen. And we also went to Central Burma to meet with like the Burmese, the women who marries with the Burmese soldier, the military, and then who lost their son and their the husband like this. So especially, yes, when come to the conflict or the civil war context, in the conflict setting, women, they suffer a lot, they impact a lot. But at the same time, we would like to focus on women also. They want peace, they need peace, and they are how to call struggling every day. But however, they are also the political they also must recognize them and acknowledge their ability as a political decision makers and the leader like this. Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much, Maung Moe, and please join us later after the screening. I think we're running a little bit late. The running time totally of the films is just 1 hour, 10 minutes. Each of them are between 12 minutes and 23 minutes, and we'll run them pretty well back to back. And some of the filmmakers will come back afterwards for a quick discussion. But just very briefly, I wanted to turn to Sai Chor Kain. You shot the film, the second film we're about to see, and as Tozor Lat said, it was in 4 very different parts of Myanmar. So what would you like to highlight from that film?
Thank you. I've been to many places like in Chin State and Karen, Kaya area and in the middle Burma. When I ask the people why the problem we get, they want to get help. I don't know how to help them, but I think I asked those a lot that we should make the documentary. Okay.
So you saw the film as a way to help the people?
Yeah, that's the way of how to help the people. I can't help them, but I think the documentary can help them. That's why we make the film. Whenever I went to around the border, the people are get me some help, get us some help when they run away. That's why I get the idea, and then those that told me, can we make this? And then he's a producer, and then we make the film. You will see the film around the border, and inside Chin State, and inside Myanmar, the central of Myanmar. You will see the people.
So you chose those areas as areas that you saw as in one of the worst areas of Myanmar.
Yeah. Even the Chin State, when I asked them how you get help, to get community help them, and the Chin from overseas help them. Even the Korean, I asked the head of the camp. They need a lot of, and then sometimes I have to donate them to help these people. When you get there, you will see.
Donate.
Yeah, they got some people don't have rice. They don't have rice to eat.
They can't eat.
When we see they suffer, and like I'm suffer too, I have to help them, and then that's why we make this film to help the people see and understand them, how they suffer, how they struggle, and that is the film we are making it.
Thank you very much. So that will be the second film we see. I think the first film you'll also find incredibly powerful. And Jeannie, as the person who helped put this entire evening together and worked ceaselessly, and also a veteran filmmaker yourself, I wonder what were the priorities in putting the films together for tonight?
I think that
it must have been very hard to choose. I mean, there's so much out there right now about displacement, despair, atrocities. Very difficult to work that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should, as quickly as possible, go straight to the films and let the power of that storytelling and the visual that you will see, which is the visual storytelling that these filmmakers have just addressed, will speak louder than anything. And I just want to take note that despite the despair, and it is a very despondent situation right now for the IDPs in Myanmar, the positive uptake of this is that the brief window of democratic freedoms that were enjoyed during the transition period gave rise to a new generation of filmmakers in Myanmar. In addition to the colleagues that are with us tonight, Tozalat and Sai Chor Kain, there were filmmakers that had an opportunity for the first time ever to be trained in long format storytelling. And this has given birth to a new movement of Myanmar filmmakers. In addition, the very powerful and astute Myanmar media that has worked incredibly under very difficult circumstances is also now capable of doing longer format storytelling. And I think that there is no more powerful way to tell a story about a crisis than from the eyes of the people who are from that very country. And that's what we're going to see tonight. It'll be very powerful. And I want to applaud all of the filmmakers whose work is going to be showcased this evening.
Thank you very much, Jeannie. And I would like to just very quickly add that the third film we're seeing, No Village, No Home, produced by Bo Tet Tun, story by Ko Lu Cho and Bo, is actually a pilot. It's the lead project in a new program that the big independent Myanmar media group, is leading on citizen journalists, and exactly this sort of trying to get more and more citizen journalists as well as regular journalists in storytelling and to capture what's going on in images, which is really one of the most difficult forms of for journalists of operating, particularly inside conflict-wracked Myanmar. So with that, we'll just turn straight to the films, and I think you saw the running order. We're going to start with Along the River, a very powerful film shot along the Thai-Myanmar border in Karenni, just around Karenni State, but just inside Thailand, directed by Maung Moe and produced by Ong Nang So. And then second, we'll see the work of Tozo Lat and Sai Cho Kaing here, Forgotten IDPs. And third will be this No Village, No Home by Bo Tet Tun, the DVB doc citizen journalist film. And finally will be Urge, which is the one produced by Women's League of Burma, focusing on women. So Kuntam, can we turn the lights down, and I think we'll just run these films back to back and then come back. So if you have questions, please save them for later. And you can order drinks while the films are ongoing. There'll be waiters coming around. Thanks very much. I think that completes the 4 films we were going to see tonight, and we've got some of the filmmakers with us. I think we'll just bring them in online, and the 2 here, please. I know, you can come on. I'm going to stand here by myself. And I wonder if anybody had a question about any of the films. If you have something you'd like to say, there's a microphone up there. Feel free to come up. And I'd just like to introduce Kuntam. Can we bring on our other participants? We're just getting them online. But meanwhile, I think one point I think we can make is what came through so strongly in all the films is this sense of being alone. There was a lot of either philosophical resignation or even maybe some anger, but not even anger about the lack of outside help, international support. We saw a lot of images of villages and camps, refugees, displaced people just helping themselves, building houses, trying to feed themselves under pretty awful circumstances. So I just wonder if that was one of the themes that any of you feel you wanted to spotlight. On the upper left there on the screen we have Ong Nang So, who's the producer of Along the River, the first film you saw, the very powerful film focusing a bit on the Karenni camp there. And on the right here is Bo Tet Tun, great filmmaker himself. And you saw that his film was the third one, No Village, No Home. I think we still have Nang Momo, who, is she still with us? Oh, there's Nang Momo. Hi, Nang Momo. So she was involved. She helped make that final film we saw. All those very striking observations from the women. So many different women, but all I think with a fairly similar sentiments, and also quite striking. A lot of them on their own. So maybe we could start with that theme, or maybe start with you, Ong Nang So. This point about them being on their own and very little outside help. Was that one of the things you were trying to highlight, or what would you like to say about the film you made?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thanks, Gwen, for the introduction and asking this great question. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess you were asking about the refugees or the displaced community had no help from outside, or like, is it like more about filmmakers working on their own?
Yeah, it's really more about whether that was clearly something you were trying to bring out. You focused on that quite. I think all of you did in your films, particularly Tozo Lat and Sai Cho Kang. You really focused on that, and I think the Urge, the last film about the women, they all seem to be quite. There was really it was quite striking how, not just how little outside help there was, but also quite a lack of resentment or anger, just people were getting on with it. I just wondered if that was something you were trying to highlight.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, that's correct. Myanmar displaced community, including IDPs and the refugees, they have no help. And it's not just there is lack of help from the outside world. It's more that there is lack of information to the outside world, that people outside of Myanmar or outside of Thailand do not know like what's happening to those displaced communities. So it is more difficult for them to provide assistance or humanitarian aid and supply. So that's what I really want to mention in the film. Like you have seen in my film, Along the River, there was a doctor. He was providing medical treatment. You see some flies around. So it's dirty. It's not a proper place to provide medical treatment. But there's no other option. And also, they have clearly mentioned in their stories, in their interviews, that how to say, people are helping each other, right? Myanmar people help each other. And also, I've noticed the interview with Gopal as well. They said they were expecting that some sort of international organization would come in with great aid supplies and stuff like that. But it's not right. It's on the ground. People are helping each other, and they're getting tired. It's been 3 years. So first of all, yes, there's no help. I'm sorry to say. Maybe we could say that there's very limited supply from outside. And in addition to that, there's no information, and which is completely against what we anticipated in any kind of devastating situation like this. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. And Bo Tetun, you focused just on one woman, one family, talking about how great the village life was and how quite desperate they are now. But it seemed a very peaceful situation. What were you trying to bring out in your film? What was your message?
In my film is what Onaiso said, and you already said there is no help, but I don't want to show there is no help or no supporting. I just want to show how people are struggling on their own.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And Nang Momo, are you with us? Or that very sweet looking picture? So in your film, you really showed a lot of that was an incredible range of women you showed in that film. Are you with us?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, you know, it was, I could see some of the common sentiments between all those women, but was that a factor? I mean, did you have a particular purpose, you know, particular points you wanted to bring out with the experiences of all these women, apart from the suffering at the hands of military atrocities and military action?
Yes, I think the video itself, the frames itself also already mentioned and includes like what the reality and what women really need in the community. So I think it's already, and here, you know, these things that our frames is not really, it's not how to call produced after the 2021 coup, but it's before the military coup. It's 2018, 2019, so it's before this. And we also see like I mentioned before, the victim, they are the victim, but they are change makers, and especially like they are also like seeking for the justice. So some of the case that you may also see, like a very old grandmom, like you know, she lost everything and she is seeking for justice, but justice never come, and even those all those like no even did not see like a way to seek the justice. So you know, like always women, they are also like they lose everything, but you know, we also see their however their resilience, the resilience of the women, and continuous fighting, and also continuous seeking for the justice. And also like you know, if now even after the military coup, the situation of women is even getting worse, like the vast majority of the IDP, and you know, the vast majority of them are women, elders, and also like the children. And for now, like the situation is within the women, like women and new women who have like a newborn mothers, you know, they are suffering a lot, and they did not access like the humanitarian support. And at the same time, not only sufferings and facing with the humanitarian crisis or shortage, but at the same time, like also women are also seeking justice for them and for like their future generation as well.
Right. Yes, I must say, I think you really focused on women who had, a lot of them had lost their partners, so they really were on their own, maybe bringing up children. It would be interesting to revisit now, because that was shot some years ago, where those women are now, actually. Have you kept track of any of them?
Yeah. So we have like some of the women who are in the documentary in our frames already like passed away without seeing the, you know, they you know, you may also see in the frames like what they want to see. They want to see the peaceful society, but some women like some of them already passed away, and some of them like you know, they have to displace again. And we in 2018, 2019, we met with them in IDP camp, in the refugee camp, and they are IDP, they are refugee. And after the military coup, like they become like they have to displace again. They be like double, triple again like this. So yes, some already passed away, some are still, and they are not in their own place, especially the women who are um, Karenni and Chance, Southern Chance, they are not in their own place. They have to displace to another place. And yes, still suffering, still far from the justice, equality like this. Yeah.
So clearly set up for a part 2, maybe. I'd like to turn to another question and maybe focus on you, Tozolat and Saichorakaing. You really focused on this issue of lack of support or international aid. However, I think most recently we've seen Thailand moving to claim that it's actually moving to give cross-border aid into Myanmar, which has been very controversial. But also we've got groups like the TBC, the Border Consortium, made up of a lot of NGOs actually on the border trying to get assistance into Myanmar. And it does seem like things have moved. The US is now putting in more money, and even the Japanese have announced in the last few weeks I think Japan announced $37 million extra in aid for Myanmar to be spent through Thailand. So, what do you make of that, particularly because your film was specifically about, you even called it Forgotten IDPs. So yes, I can see you have something to say.
Actually, basically, we're trying to advocate other cross-border engagement. Sometimes UN or other agencies, just going through NEPIRO or also the state center, it's not actually working. That's the point that we want to make. At the same time, there is a people-to-people, very small-scale look trying to address the humanitarian crisis. I'm talking about 2.6 million. It is a huge need. And also there is a 5.8 million children alone. We are going to lose one generation. So basically the Flint Forgotten IDPs, that's why we name it Forgotten IDPs, just to raise, not only traditional state-to-state approach, but also has to look for other track 1.5 or track 2 or cross-border engagement. That is the message,
So
the Chiang guys already said they control 70% of territory, but if it is the help come through SAC or the military, they are the main cause of the problem. They are not going to accept. So I think we should start thinking about this. It is not about shortage of money, like you said. There is a recent U.S. announced, 121 million help. I think 75 million U.S. dollar is for the humanitarian issues. But are they really reaching? If not, how are we going to make sure there is another cross-border or another truck 1.5 or truck 2 to reach those who are really needed? That is the point about Flint. That's why we use a lot of UN code as well. They are admitting
yes,
that.
I saw. Plenty of UN in that film.
Because we're using their own words. They are addressing
their own words. Yeah. Kai, did you want to say anything or?
Yeah, this is the help is starting now. Start moving forward. Let's see the next move for the humanitarian.
Right. Well, maybe that's another documentary for you.
Yeah.
We're
doing it. Don't know yet.
And Ong Nang So, you've spent a lot of time, particularly, I think, recently, as well as making that film, along the border, and you've heard about, and you probably watched the supposed cross-border aid delivery initiated by Thailand recently, and more talk in Thailand of trying to do something about it inside. So that's very much an Eastern Myanmar issue, and particularly localized along the Thai-Myanmar border, and we've seen so many, it's been great tonight, those 4 documentaries really managed to capture a sense of far beyond Eastern Myanmar. We've seen Chin and we've seen Sagaing. But what's your sense from your recent experiences? Because you're also involved in an ongoing project, I think. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about the work you're doing now.
Sure, thank you. So first of all, it's along the river. It's not along the border because it's along the 2 rivers, Moe and Salween River. So I wanted to portray the story of people along those 2 rivers. So with the cross-border project, and thanks for that question, I think our concern is that the Thai humanitarian corridor should not be affiliated with Myanmar military or any organization that works together with Myanmar military. Like, not at all. Please don't. Because the Myanmar military, we already have, there are already proven records of Myanmar military that they confiscated aid supplies, they confiscated medical supplies. They are targeting civilians. They bomb hospitals. They bomb schools that kill infants. In the school time. Like, how come we can imagine that this cruel military will like distribute aid supplies? So we have to make 100% sure that um, these aid supplies will not go through the Myanmar military and none of their partner organizations. So it is very important, first of all. But I'm pretty sure that the Thai, how to say, the Thai organizations or the Thai stakeholders, not just the government, the Thai stakeholders will agree to that point because they have already seen that things. But the international community or journalists like us or any storytellers, but we have to like continue advocating the stakeholders of the humanitarian corridor project that they must not do it. They must not work together with Myanmar military, or they must not work with any of the counterparts of the Myanmar military. And it is entirely impossible to do the, how to say, distribution of the aid supplies on the Myanmar side because the military has been applying many restrictions. Yeah, I think that's my input. Also, that's my input about the humanitarian corridor project. But based on my experiences on the ground, I would like to say that uh, as a Myanmar citizen, I truly appreciate people of Thailand. Without their help, it is very much difficult for us to like help the how to say, displaced community.
Right.
I mean, without the help of Thai people, even like Myanmar local people or Thai local people cannot help them. Not just the international aid, but um, but now we have to make sure that we have to advocate that Thailand should have like a good policy to help Myanmar displaced community, and also the corridor project should not be affiliated with military and its counterparts. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Well put. We have one question, and we might close with that unless anyone else has a question. Patty, please identify yourself, and if you want to ask a specific filmmaker or if it's a general question.
It's a general question. My name is Patty Parker. And I want to congratulate you all. I thought they were very powerful documentaries. And I thought that they really help people see the pain and suffering that people face every day. I think sometimes when you just read a report in the newspaper, you don't really comprehend how much suffering people endure daily. And so my question is, what are you going to do with the documentaries? How are you going to get this message out to the rest of the world, who I don't think really have felt the pain and sorrow and deprivation that you show in these documentaries? Do you have a plan for this?
Thank you. Good question. Okay, so each of you very quickly, what do you...
Thank you very much. I'm a journalist, so what I did, I put it in Mizima. I work for Mizima too. I mean, the documentary that we make, it's already viewed 1.5 million. And also, you are right that the power of pictures. We are telling the storytelling through, I mean, there are like 70,000 house burned down in Sagai alone. And when we show the picture, and the people really see it, I mean, just reading, okay, these are the number, and this is what happened. So I think we do what we can through distribution. I mean, it is two-way. We are, that's why all the film has a subtitle in English. We're trying to educate, inform other people as well. And also we show this film in the refugee community as well. And also, I mean, for me, I teach the young people and then teach the mobile journalists, and that's all we can do to make that kind of stories. It is hard to make a kind of documentary because it takes time, take resources, and also very dangerous and difficult. but we understand the power of pictures, and but we will keep doing it as much as we could.
Right.
At
so
the same time, we will teach the
you're
other younger
basically
generation
saying social media has been one of the greatest
platform
spreaders
to
of
promote
And how about you others, Bo, in terms of your document and also the previous? It should be said, Bo is one of the filmmakers who's part of a collective who've had amazing impact with Myanmar Diaries and other feature, as well as several other documentaries. So what is your view of trying to get more attention for these sort of little stories of displacement and to interest a bigger community? Oh, I think you're muted. You're muted. We can't yet. Start again.
Okay. Yeah. For the documentary films, yeah, people normally people don't watch the documentary. So we are trying to get more people and to make better. Just my opinion. We need to make better documentary because filmmaking. I'm talking about storytelling. The documentary storytelling is already changed. But in Myanmar, we can only make the documentary with the interview and B-roll, something like that. It's very normal. And if we want more audience and more attention, we need to make the documentary with the good storytelling. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. And Maung Moe, that's an older film, but in terms of just the content you're dealing with, like that film or others, in terms of this question of trying to get it to a broader community, what's your view on that?
Yes, this frames also like it's a short frame but with a very strong message, and we really want to reach those kind of message to the not only to the international community but also in the national levels community. And as a Women League of Burma, we also trying our best. Like we have push in post these documentary frames in the social media as well, in the website as well. And we also have like do frames launch in several areas, and also have work with some of the mainstreaming media in Burma in terms of showing these frames. But yes, however, like the friends who are in the room are, we could not reach like the wider international community, especially those kind of messages need to reach to the international community, the decision makers, donors,
Right, exactly.
who really needs to make very decisive action for Burma in terms of humanitarians, in terms of seeking justice. So I think we do as much as we can, but we also really need the international community support and solidarities. So we are always like welcome, like if there is like an opportunity or a channel for us that to be able to show our friends that we are happy to do this, and you are also free to use our documentary and then showing to your respective government or your community like this. So yeah.
Right, thank you. And finally, Ong Nang So, on that question, I think you've also been able to get the film screened at festivals or events. But do you have a plan with Along the River and others? I think you won. Did you win an award, or at least you were in the finals of the DVB doc screenings?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't win an award. No awards. Hopefully one day, but thank you. I'm happy that you say that. So anyway, in regarding to the plans, I mean, our plan is like keep on producing stories because we are storytellers. We we don't know how to distribute the story. So if anyone know how to distribute the stories, please feel free to contact us and please distribute their stories. And it's online, it's for free, anyone can watch it. I hate to create documentaries that are whole and are starting copyright or something. I don't want to do that. For me, I shoot, I edit, and then it has to be online, public, free. So that's my plan. So please feel free to use it. Please feel free to contact me. And also, to respond to this question, I'll try to be as respectful as I can. But it's like there are how to say, those faces that turn away from our issue. We cannot like pull their face and push them, force them to look at our stories. So if they turn away, they turn away. We cannot do anything. But I mean, if anyone wants to like promote or like amplify those existing voices, we are here to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think a couple of the documentaries, Bo, you've got a documentary on Ong Nang So that are actually very accessible on the DVB doc website, I think. And I don't know about you, Kai.
Yeah, we put in on the Myanmar
on
English
Myanmar,
website.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
also on YouTube.
Maung Moe, is that documentary available easily on the internet? YouTube or something?
Yes, in website and yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of material out there. It's just not possibly promote, and it's very difficult amidst Ukraine and Israel and all the focus on so many competing issues. So I guess it does boil down to the ability to promote and also get into festivals and reach people who are particularly interested, but to actually reach some of the uninitiated as well. So with that, I think I just want to thank very much all of you for giving your time and showing us your really wonderful, powerful films, and also to thank our audio-visual maestro Kuntam for a pretty tricky set of screenings tonight, and thank you all for your attention. And please keep an eye on the FCCT website and Facebook for more events, and we'll be continually doing events about Myanmar as well as many others. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Goodbye. Ong Nang So, Nang Momo.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.